Good morning, Remax. How's everyone doing this Thursday morning? I'm going to share my screen. Good morning.
Morning.
Hope everyone's doing good this morning. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you guys see my screen and see me okay?
Yep, we see you and the Booj Be Original or Jealous, March 2020.
Awesome. And my backdrop.
And your backdrop.
All right. So for those of you that are also on, besides my fellow panelists, please let us know by just typing in the chat box or Q&A box that you can hear me and see my screen okay. And then we'll get started. Thanks for being early, all of you. I'm going to silence my phones because I heard texting going on. All right, so we getting confirmation, Erica and Maureen?
Lots of people can see and hear you.
Awesome. All right, well, welcome everyone and good morning. It's been some pretty, I guess, major adjustments that we've been going through. And this is going to be the last of this particular session of our webinars. So we are really sorry that we can't be out in the field. And we were supposed to bring you live training, Maureen and myself, over the course of the last couple of weeks especially. And we had really good momentum going into this too. So we're very sad about that. But at the same time, this is what we do. This is technology, and our job is to educate and to inform you and to bring you resources so that you can do even better in your business and be productive. So that's what we're going to do. So we're just on a new platform. We're on a new method of teaching and providing you with this awesome training. So we are going to have a really full session this morning. So instead of the two-hour courses you would have received in person for both CRM and website, we're going to bring you all of that into a 2-hour session. So I know it sounds like a lot for a webinar, but we are recording this and I'm going to move at a really steady pace. So you'll be able to get the recording and pause and go back and watch as you need to. But we will also be taking questions. So first of all, I want to officially welcome you. My name is Michelle Hoyt. I am a region trainer for Remax Integra in the Midwest region. Joining me, I have panelists that will be answering questions behind the scenes, and a lot of you know them, so I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with Maureen.
Good morning, everybody. Maureen Colin here, the Learning Development Specialist for New England region. I do miss being out there, seeing your beautiful faces and being able to walk around the classroom and actually give some hands-on. But we are definitely committed to making sure you get all the information and answer all your questions that you would have done in the classroom itself. So we are here for you. We're by email, and I look forward to seeing you again all real soon.
Thank you. And we also have with us Erica Kappa.
Good morning, everyone. As Michelle said, my name is Erica Kappa. I am the Director of Support for Remax Integra North America. So what that means is that I lead the team that provides support on all the Remax tools to our brokers and agents in Ontario Atlantic, in North Central, Indiana, and New England. So a couple of things just to note as we go through this webinar. If you have any challenges with logging into your accounts or your computer isn't loading properly, things of that nature, those aren't things that we're going to be able to assist you with on the webinar. I would ask that you go ahead and reach right out to my team. You can do so a couple of different ways. We have www.maxhelpsyou.com where you can instant chat with us. You can also access our website through Max Center. There's a tile that will say Max Helps You, Broker and Agent Support. If you have any questions as far as not seeing the same thing on your screen that Michelle is currently showing, please go ahead and reach out to our support team as well. That isn't a question that I'm going to be able to assist with on the back end right now. As we go through this, if you have any questions and not answers. I'll have the answers. If you have any questions, please enter them into the Q&A box and not the chat box. It's much easier for us to monitor that Q&A box. Also, at the end of the day, what we will do is pull a list of all of these questions. We'll write out the questions along with the answers and make sure that you have access to those as well, so you can refer back to them at a later time.
Thank you so much, Erica. And yes, so thank you to Maureen and Erica. They will be answering questions. Like Erica said, please put them in the Q&A box, not the chat box. We can pull reports off of those and add a lot of those questions to the knowledge base. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is it's a social campaign movement that we are about to start, and we're starting now. And the hashtag @HomeTogether. So you're going to receive from our marketing team here in the next, should be today, and next, if not tomorrow, you're going to receive graphics like this, and your broker owner will as well, and for broker owners that are on here, so that you can join this movement with us. And we're all in this together, everyone. It's the power of the RE/MAX network, so let's stay strong. We're going to come out way better on the other side, okay? And I hope you're all healthy and well. So speaking of more training virtually, so we are excited to announce a whole new round of webinars for next week. They will not be 2 hours, they will be 1 hour each with live Q&A, just like what we're doing today. So we have a lot happening next week when we have our go live date on March 31st. So as you can see on Monday, we want to get you prepared on what to expect come the next day. So we're going to have a 1 hour webinar. These are going to be emailed out to you, or it should have already been emailed out to you, invitations. So you can register from there, or you can register on the blog on soldsignblog.com for these. There's going to be repeating sessions of agent webinars, agent focused, on Tuesday the 31st and also Wednesday the 1st. And we also have an agent focused webinar, which really is for all of you, anybody on this webinar, broker owners, team leaders, agents, on Monday, just to see what to expect. And then some specific targeted sessions for broker owners and team leaders. So just take note of that and go to soldsignblog.com/calendar to register. So what we're doing, it's all about Booj now. So one of the most exciting things about this, as you all know by now, we have acquired our own technology company called Booj, and this happened in 2018. Hard to believe it was already 2 years ago. And as a result of that, for the very first time ever, all of our sites, including remax.com, are now on the same platform. It's seamless integration. They're all talking to each other. Leads will sync between all of the different sites and go right into the Booj CRM. So these are all the components of the Booj ecosystem. So we're going to discuss in this first part of the session the CRM. Then we're going to get into how to help you get started with your website. We're also going to talk a little bit about the CRM mobile app and how you should be using that and how you can be using that. And then remax.com, everyone, I'm sure you noticed the weekend of January 31st, it made the transition over to the Booj platform. So remax.com, agent office, and team websites are all on the Booj platform, and it works out great. So we're very excited about that. So Erica already spoke to a lot of you, and those of you just joining. So Erica is our Director of Support for Brokers and Agents for North America. She and her team lead some really robust efforts to make sure that you get resources and tools and the assistance that you need to use the RE/MAX technology. And it's not just Booj, it's Design Center, it's Launchpad, it's Max Center, it's everything that you are using in the toolbox. So they have all kinds of resources available to you. There's a knowledge base available on maxhelpsyou.com. Frequently asked questions that a lot of you have been sending in tickets on over the years. There's even information on PhotoFi and some of the tools and apps that RE/MAX has recently announced. There's also going to be an opportunity. What you would really like is you can schedule a call, 30, 45 minutes, or 60 minutes with one of the support specialists. They have available a calendar for you to choose from on what dates and times they're available. And this will be a great way for you to kind of just get some questions answered, get that one-on-one attention. Maureen and I are quite busy and literally servicing thousands of you, and we're just one person. So we have a whole team that can help you. So I ask that you do not email me directly, do not email Erica or Maureen directly, but to go to Max Helps You, see if the answer you need is there, and if not, submit a ticket and someone will get in touch with you, or schedule a call. So these are all the available. Sure, go ahead.
Andy says that your audio keeps coming in and out. I'm not experiencing that issue, but I just want to find out if anybody else is having that problem.
Mine is okay.
Are you good, Maureen? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about the audio problem. If you're having any technical issues, I recommend you log out, close your browser, and even clear the browser if possible, and then just log back in. Sometimes just refreshing your login will help. So I apologize for that, but we're gonna keep moving in the meantime. So thanks for verifying, everyone. And once again, please put your questions in the Q&A folder, not in the chat area. All right, so let's keep moving through. We've got lots of resources available to help you learn Booj and moving forward. So starting in April, you're going to receive every Tuesday the weekly Recharge Tech newsletter from Remax LLC. And that's going to start sometime next month. And what this will be is every week you're going to find out what the latest releases or features or even fixes of known issues of Booj are going to be, as well as anything else happening in the tech world of Remax. So that will come to you every Tuesday. You'll also be seeing on a regular basis that Remax University is constantly having new content uploaded, especially the Booj tutorial videos. We've been working really closely with the Remax LLC team to make sure that they are most up to date and they're keeping us in the loop on what's being added. And if we get even more requests for certain features, we put those requests into them to have those made. And we'll be making some of our own too, but there's quite a library there, as I'll show you on one of the next slides. One of the things you want to pay attention to is the blue question mark that exists in Booj, which is in the bottom right corner of your screen. And what this is it's going to have a way to walk you through how to learn how to do features and functions inside of Booj. So when you click there, we'll show you when we go live. It'll say how to import a contact. And when you click on it, it will walk you through with little windows popping up saying click here, click there. It's a really cool tool called Pendo that I think you'll really like, and it'll help guide you. So the other thing is you'll also be able to submit product feedback. So that's what's great about having our own technology is we now have a voice and we can go directly to the Booj developers and just submit product feedback. Now it doesn't mean you'll get an answer right away or they'll make a change right away, but we do have that opportunity to express what we think the system needs so that you can do your business better and even more productive. And then finally, there's a Facebook group you can join if you want to see how your peers are using Booj, some best practices, and just collaborate with them. It's called the Tech and Tools Group. It's not sanctioned or run by Remax LLC or Integra, but it's run by your peers. And there's usually a lot of activity going on there. So as we mentioned in Remax University, on the side link on the left-hand side, you will see a link for Booj if you haven't already. If you open up each of these blue folders, you will see a whole bunch of videos. So you'll see they're little bite-sized pieces, which is the best part. So a lot of you are probably thinking, wow, 2 hours today, this is daunting, which yes, I can pause and record, but maybe you just want to learn how to do a couple of features. You forgot how to create a deal, or you forgot how to import contacts. You can actually go here and find a video just for that one particular feature. And generally speaking, they're 5 to 6 minutes, 7 minutes at the most. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of these. A lot of you have reached out to us and said, well, how do I get started? What videos do I watch first? I recommend you just start at the very top of this list on the overview, and then you start working your way into each part of the system, starting with CRM into website. So, and again, there's going to be a lot more videos to come. So just some really important things to know is that Booj is optimized for Chrome, for Google Chrome. And I know the truth is, though, you can use it on Safari and Firefox, but it is best on Chrome. One of the things that we know for sure in training is that we found that those of you using tablets like Surfaces or even an iPad, you're not necessarily going to be able to see all of the back-end fields you need to edit, especially your website. So we have seen that. So I encourage you when you're going to do things like edit your website, please use a desktop computer, MacBook, or something of that nature. Also, Mac Center profiles. So we're going to go into the Mac Center profile in the second part of this training to show you where to update and how that's going to really play a major role in the information that is coming through into your Booj system. So the Leach Street migration. So there's been a lot of back and forth between us and Homes.com and Booj and trying to get this migration to work properly. And to be honest, it's been glitchy at times. So what it is, I'm going to show you where you can actually do this migration by the click of a button, but it may not necessarily be functioning properly at this time. One of the things that you'll be able to do is to import manually if you really want to, or I'm going to let Erica explain kind of what's going to happen on March 31st with Lead Street Leads.
So on March 31st, We actually got a hard stop time yesterday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time is when the last official switch will take place for all leads to start going through Booj rather than Lead Street. Now, even though the leads will no longer flow through Lead Street, we are going to continue to have access to Lead Street for at least 30 days. So if you're not able to access your contacts before then, or if you want to wait to see what all contacts come over from Lead Street, then you can access your Lead Street account after that to be able to export any contacts, or if you have created custom content for your drip campaigns, you'll be able to export all that data as well.
Okay, thank you very much. So very important points to know about Lead Street leads. So one of the things you will be able to do on, it's Tuesday already, hard to believe, on March 31st is you'll be able to assign a custom domain. That means officially point your name servers of your GoDaddy domain over to your Booj website. Some of you may have already launched and maybe did a redirect, so you're gonna have to redo a couple of things. If you need help with that, please reach out to our support team, especially if you have email attached to your GoDaddy domain. You could get yourself in a little bit of trouble and maybe not have access to your emails if you do that incorrectly. So keep the note on your calendar to make sure you do that. There are going to be videos on RE/MAX University to help you with that. So, all right, texting feature. So the CRM mobile app for Booj, by the way, it's called the Booj CRM mobile app. It's not Booj, it's not anything else. It's called the Booj CRM mobile app. So on that particular mobile app where you can interact with your clients, you will not be able to text clients until March 31st. So that feature will be grayed out. So just want to call that out. So one of the things, so Lead Street, by the way, Lead Street up until Tuesday, you're still getting leads. So please pay attention to those and respond to those. And then one of the most important things on this slide is that broker owners, if you've not had contact with a company called 73, which is the RE/MAX LLC data warehouse, in order to, you need to set up and sign and execute and get approved your IDX agreement for your office Booj website. In order for agents to be able to publish their sites, you have to have this in place. And we would ask that you reach out to the support team to make sure that you have received that and that you're good to go. And then of course, for all support, go to Max Helps You. So really quick, just want to talk about what's been happening over the course of the last 12 years. Since 2006, there's been 22 million leads that have come through remax.com, which is just crazy. And all the places that they're coming from is remax.com. You've got RE/MAX, the mobile app. Another place they're coming from is global.remax.com, translated in over 40 different languages. This is the world's search portal for real estate. It's pretty amazing. And then one of the things that's happening is RE/MAX Collection, which is our luxury brand, is going through a rebranding. So instead of remaxcollection.com, moving forward will be referred to, as you can see, as remax.com/luxury. So that movement is happening now, and that's our new way of our collection branding. So, and then finally, RE/MAX Commercial. A lot of you have been asking about this that do commercial business. There, at this time, RE/MAX Commercial is not available on the Booj platform. Don't have any tentative dates at this time, but that you will still remain on the old Reliance platform for that commercial portion. All right, let's get into lead routing. So by the way, we're going to go over some slides here really quickly, and then we're going to jump live into the program. We'll spend the majority of the time this session in the live program. So on remax.com, I just want to make sure everyone understands what's happening with the leads and how the routing is going to work. Most of it's going to stay the same, but there's going to be a couple of new features that I think you'll be really interested in. So one of the things that happened prior to launching Booj is that Booj spent a lot of time with some of the brokers and agents across the country, as well as consumers, to really find out what it is what are the wants, what are the needs from both sides. And the truth is the consumer wants two things. They want to be acknowledged, and they also want to have a choice on who they work with. So that being said, a brand new feature has been added to the remax.com registration process called Preferred Buyer's Agent. And I have a slide to show you what that's going to look like. But the Preferred Buyer's Agent can be chosen by the consumer during registration. They can actually type your name in. And once they've chosen you as the preferred buyer's agent, you get the highest of hierarchies when it comes to viewing their activity on remax.com, on all the Booj websites, quite frankly. And that's how that works. So you become their go-to person in the RE/MAX site and website world. So the next thing is, assigned agent. So if you receive a lead, you get texted a lead and you have to accept it. By the way, if you're a preferred buyer's agent and you get the lead sent to you, you'll be notified, but only you are getting that lead. It's not going to be reoffered or anything like that. On an assigned agent situation, you become the assigned agent because the person is submitting a lead form for the first time, or they actually went to, if they go to your website on Booj, then you get those leads no matter what. But if they're coming through remax.com and you get a chance for that lead, you need to accept it. And once you do, you become the assigned agent. The assigned agent doesn't have as high of hierarchy as the PBA, but you also have the ability to see a lot of their activity. So I hope that's clear. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. So the next thing is that your listings. So once again, if someone's first time ever visiting remax.com submits an inquiry on your listing, you will receive that lead directly, okay? First time ever. Now, if they have a PBA, signed agent, obviously they're associated with others and they can actually, they'll go that route. But if you are getting your own listing lead, that means that person was not associated with anyone else. Now, you can also get leads from other Remax agents listings, and that most likely means that that original listing agent missed it in the first hour. So we'll talk about that in a sec. Finally, on the lead routing, when it comes to market area zip codes, this is going to be where it's a non-Remax listing inquiry or that original listing agent missed that lead. Those of you that are signed up for that zip code will be receiving leads reoffered to you. Okay, so once again, we talked about the fact that there were groups that met that talked about, and obviously the priority is always going to be the consumer. That's who Remax.com wants to serve. So as a result of that, here's what happens. So in the registration process, a consumer can actually choose the button here that says, I am working with a Remax agent. Then what they can do is they can type in your first or your last name, and it will pull up right here in a list as you see here. And when they click on your name, it will populate. And then when they register, then you are the PBA, you receive the notification, and that lead comes directly to you and no one else. So, and then once again, like I said, you're gonna have the opportunity to see all the activity that they're doing on all the Remax websites. Okay, so lead routing goals, as we said in the discussions, the assigned agent, that's to help support you as an existing agent and being the assigned agent. Listing agent, once again, getting your own listing leads for people that are brand new to remax.com. And then finally, just if the original listing agent doesn't get it, making sure the consumer gets connected to someone that is still a local expert and can help them. So one of the things that's new with Lead Street, we had lead offering or acceptance hours from basically 9 to 5, but the new hours are now 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And that is in Eastern, that is in Central. Wherever you're located, it's 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So that means within that time frame, you have 1 hour to accept that lead. And then if it gets reoffered, so let's say you miss it. Here's what's different about Lead Street. When you miss that lead in that first hour, then what happens is that you get taken out of the pool. So that's different than Lead Street. You used to be still eligible, but now you're out, and it gets reoffered to other local agents, one agent at a time every 15 minutes until it's accepted, okay? So that's kind of the major thing that's different. I know I'm moving at a steady pace, Erica and Maureen, but please let me know if there's questions. So this is the brand new process that is instituted on remax.com. This is set by Remax LLC. We cannot change it. This is how it's going to work. It's called a round robin process. The true definition of a round robin is if you get a lead, then after you get the lead, you basically go to the back of the line and you have to wait your turn. So until everyone else gets a lead. So what's going to happen is on that reoffer process, the lead will get sent to an agent who has gone the longest without getting a lead that's signed up for that zip code, and then it'll go to the second longest and third longest. So you see how that's going to work? That's a true round robin. Now, team leaders, you'll be able to determine if you want round robin on your team websites, and we'll cover that next week, as well as offices will also be able to determine that at the office Booj website level. But this is, again, remax.com. This is, it's there, it's set, and it's in place. Lead eligibility. So in order to be eligible for leads, you must have at least one zip code filled in. You can choose 10. And what's going to be different this time around is if you repeat zip codes, it will not have any effect whatsoever. So this will be the time in the year to maybe cast a wider net and have 10 different zip codes. so that you can get more leads. Even if it's farther out, you can always get a referral, but you can choose, and you should choose 10 different zip codes. The other thing is you can't miss three leads in a row. If you do, then your broker gets notified and they will be able to re-enable you, but the system just thinks that you're not interested in leads. So you are ineligible after 3 misses. So be very careful about that. Everyone accept your leads. There should be no other story there. All right, so agent websites lead routing. As I mentioned earlier, if you get a lead on your Booj agent website, what happens is that lead comes directly to you, regardless if that lead has a PBA or an assigned agent of any sort, or it's whose listing it is, to be honest. This is your website. This is your virtual storefront. And you generated that business and you put all the time and effort into your website. So if you have traffic visiting your website, then that lead comes directly to you, okay? So it does not automatically change or make you the PBA if they don't have one previously, but it is your lead and it is assigned to you from your own website. So I hope that makes sense. So what happens is when you get that lead, it's going to go right into your Booj account, your CRM. You'll get the notification. You don't have to accept it because it's yours, but you will get notified. And if that particular lead does have a PBA, in the Remax.com world, that PBA will be notified that their client was doing lead activity on another agent's website. It does not show who the agent is, but it also shows that that person is out there active in the Remax world. So what I would caution all of you is to be very careful with this type of information. And we have so much intel at our fingertips. Just maybe don't call them and say, hey, why are we looking at somebody else's website? But what I would suggest you do is to say something to the effect, just want to check in and see how things are going. And maybe don't do it right after you get the notification. That might seem a little strange, but give it a little time, couple hours or something a day. But even still, just want to let you know that this information is available to you, but use it wisely.
Hey, Michelle.
Sure.
We're getting a lot of questions about the lead street prior connection with their client. Can you go into that a little bit more in depth and explain why these changes are being made and why it's a positive moving forward?
Absolutely, absolutely. So once again, that's a really good question, and we've heard that from a lot of you in the past. So I know over the last several years, for a lot of you, Eric and I have been around about the same amount of time, 7-8 years ourselves, and we know that in the past, from previous systems, the Remax.com, keep in mind, was hosted on Homes.com for several years. In fact, our entire time here, the two of us that I mentioned, and for a lot of you, even longer. So just to let you know that in transitioning over to a brand new website hosting platform such as Booj, it is, from a technical perspective, it is impossible to carry over the technical piece of it that can associate all those clients back to you. So I'm explaining that on a technical side, but what's really positive about this change is that the consumer, once again, gets a choice. And this has happened to a lot of you where you're working with someone, but they're submitting lead inquiries and they're going to an agent that they might have talked to 7 years ago or 5 years ago or something like that, but you have that relationship. And this is really to help you in the long run to make sure your consumers can choose you and work with you, because that's their choice. You know, as we said, they want to have a choice. They want to be in control. They want to be in charge, but it's to their benefit and it's to yours as well. So one of the things you might want to consider doing, and I'm going to talk about this on the webinars next week, is I'm going to show you some samples of what you can do from a promotional perspective, especially to your database. Something like, hey, Remax.com is brand new. People love the word new. And I wanted to let you know that here's what you can do. Choose me as your preferred buyer's agent. And it could be a little graphic or something like that. I'm going to work with our creative team to come up with something to help you kind of illustrate that. But let them know this is Remax.com. It has an all new look and feel. And what I'm asking you to do is to please choose me as your preferred buyer's agent. And there's really nothing wrong with that. You already have a relationship with them, but I would encourage you to really take that opportunity to reach out to your database to really promote yourself as the PBA. So I know it's a big change, and I hope that helps shed some light on that. Anything else? Okay. All right, lead sources. How do leads get into Booj? They come from all the websites in the Booj ecosystem. This would be agents, teams. This would also be offices. This would be for anything from there, remax.com, the mobile app. And then there's also third parties that can be parsed in, and we'll look at on the next slide, but you'll be able to bring other lead generation platform leads into Booj automatically, so there's no manual input involved. And on that note, we'll be looking at this. So Realtor.com, Zillow, and HomeSpotter are the 3 lead parsers that are now have an integration with the Booj platform. So again, this means when leads come in to your inbox from these particular sources, you can actually set up a connector that will bring them in. This is, for a lot of you might remember, we had this on 5 Street. We also had it on Lead Street. So that is now available, and I'll show you how to get to that. To accept leads, what will be happening is when the leads go live this week, you'll get in-app notifications, just like you do all these other apps that you have on your phone. You'll also get text messages, emails will be sent, and then if you're on the desktop, those notifications will pop up in the little bell as well. So just want to let you know there's lots of ways to receive leads. So I'm going to go live into the system right now. While I'm doing that, please let me know if there's any questions. And if not, we will kind of jump right in. Okay, so to get to your Booj system, you will go to Max Center, remax.net. So Max Center, there is no Booj tile in Launchpad. There will never be a Booj tile in Launchpad. You're going to go to Max Center. So what you've got right here is the home screen. And for some of you, it might look a little different than mine, but going in, you're going to see something to this effect. If you do not see the Booj application front and center, what you need to do is go to the app section, and then find the Booj icon, and then I recommend you favorite it, okay, by coloring in this little flag right here. Then what you want to do is to go by clicking into the tile. Now for some of you, if you've never logged in before, you're going to see something different than what I'm showing. You're going to see a setup wizard screen, particularly to accept terms of service. So what you need to do is to follow along with us today. We're not going to go through that setup wizard, but I'm going to show you how to get to all the settings. So what you need to do is to look at the bottom of your screen, click accept the terms, and then the next 5 or several screens, just keep hitting the word next and move through to the end where it says complete setup wizard. So once again, those of you that are on the setup wizard, accept the terms and then move through and just accept the next several screens, and then I'm going to show you how to get back to that, okay? So for the first time that you open up your Booj CRM, it's going to look blank. Some of you may have already set this up, but if it's not blank, then that means you set up your widgets. So these are called widgets, which are basically, this is an overview or a snapshot of what's happening in your Booj account, most recently especially. So if you go right here where it says edit widgets, for those of you that have a blank screen, it's going to give you the option to add these widgets to your dashboard. So what's important to you to see when you open up your account every day? And by the way, in the mobile app, you're not going to be able to see the widgets as they appear here. It's different on desktop. So what you can do is you set them up, you can move them around. So when I click edit, instead of having, you know, I can move this around. Maybe I want my deals to show in a certain area too, and I'll move those over here. Whatever it is that you want, it's up to you because it's your account. So the next thing is what I want to show you is, especially those of you that have gone through the setup wizard, is where the settings are, because this is important. So in the top right corner, these are where your settings are. So it's a little circle with a picture, a silhouette. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on settings. So on the settings section, now by default, it just shows in general the calendar. So I just want to quickly mention there's a calendar inside of Booj that lives inside of Booj. Right now it is not, but will be in the future, looking at sometime in Q2, a sync with Google Calendar as well as Outlook and iCal. So that's coming, we're excited about it, but right now the calendar just is inside of the Booj platform. And you'll be able to use it just like any other calendar. We'll walk through that. So you can also go to, what I want you to go next is go to settings pages for those of you that are following along. So under the settings pages, what you're going to see is several options here. So we're going to work our way down this list, but we're going to start with contacts and leads. Now this is where, when the time comes, if you want to do a lead street migration, it's up to you, but this is where you can access this. For those of you that might have missed it in the initial setup or wanted to try it, this is where it lived or existed. But as we mentioned, There are some glitches right now, so maybe wait till the 31st, and you still have access, like Erica said, into April. So hold off if you want to. This right here will just show you when you open up your contacts and leads, what do you want to see by default? Do you just want to see the general dashboard or details, details being their address, email, and everything else? It's up to you, and as you get to know the system better, you can always change these. So notifications, this is very important because this is how you're going to be notified of lead activity. So when it comes to getting leads, I recommend you can never get notified enough. So across the board, just go ahead and check off everything when it comes to getting a lead referred or transferred to you. One of the things you'll be notified if a contact or lead is shared with you. I'll show you where to do this. But one of the things a lot of you might remember in the old Reliance Lead Street, we had the ability to transfer a contact to someone in your region. You will now have the ability, if you, let's say you're working with a RE/MAX agent in South Carolina for a referral, they can actually share a contact with you. They're sending you a referral, and if they share it with you, and just like if you share with someone else, when you share, that person stays in your database and it also goes into theirs. If you send it, then it's completely out of your database. So there might not be many instances where you actually do that, where you actually send it, because hey, if people move, you never know, they can always come back, or they can refer you someone. So you can choose what you want to do. But if someone does share a contact with you, you will get notified by a notification, and when it says shared with you, that means that someone actually shared a contact out of their database with you. Now, choosing a PBA, I know is a new concept for a lot of us, but the consumer has the first choice. Technically, they can update who their PBA is. So you will get notified if you are the PBA that this person did switch to a different agent. Now, again, this is where I ask that you be cautious of that information and how you use it, but would be a good opportunity to check in with that person for sure. But here's the thing, that person will not be removed from your database. You won't be their PBA anymore. So you'll have you won't have the ability to see their activity anymore. So just want to kind of make mention of that because I know that's a lot to process. So the contact deleted their account. So anyone at any time can delete their My RE/MAX login that they've created for themselves or even on your own website. But again, it doesn't remove them from your database. It just means they didn't want their account anymore for some reason. Again, another opportunity to reach out. Lead offered to me, this would be a re-offer situation. This would mean an initial offering. So that means you're getting a lead offer to you right away. And then import and export with the actual contacts, and we're going to show you how to do that. Are we doing okay on questions?
Yep, we're doing great.
Awesome. All right. So let's go into tags next for those of you that are actually following along. And let's talk about tags. What are tags? Tags are categories. So a lot of you know this from the past, from previous CRMs. This is where you've got buyer, seller, preferred partner. This could be someone in a parents group or networking group, or who is this person to me? So those are tags. And a lot of you have tags already set up in previous systems. And the good news, you can actually import your contacts by those same tags. So you can do it a couple different ways. It is a best practice if you actually make sure all of your tags you have now are added right here in this section. You could also add them to the import sample template I'm going to show you, and the system will be intuitive enough to pick that up as well. But let's go ahead and just, for example, let's add a tag. Like just to give you an example, these are all system generated or system assigned. See the gray ones? So there's already some in here in case you're wondering where they came from. But then notice some of these are in different colors. I've added those myself on this demo account. And you're going to do the same thing. So see, I've got golf outing, there was a home buyer seminar, and preferred partners. So you're going to have different tags that you're going to add. So let's just make one up for right now. And by the way, you'll see some of the common ones are there too, like open house. And I'm going to go ahead and add, because I don't see I added it here. This is going to be a floor time or walk-in lead. So maybe you want to have that on there. So we'll just say walk-in, and I'm going to assign it a color. Right now there's only a few colors, but we're going to turn that green for money. So, okay. So now that will register. I think I have to refresh to see it. It should then show up. Okay. Where did it go? Oh, it's on the next page. My fault. So on the next page, I've got 2 pages of tags. There it is. Walk in. Okay.
Michelle, we're getting a couple of questions asking if you can show again how you got to where you currently are.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm in settings, everyone, and this is going to be sort of command central for your Booj CRM. So in the top right corner, see where there's a little silhouette, should be your picture actually. And if it's not there, you're going to add that to Max Center. But right here in the top right, you're actually going to click right here where it says settings. And then what I did is I clicked on settings pages. So click this again, and I am in contacts and leads. So now I'm in contacts and leads, and I'm working my way down this left menu just specifically for settings for contacts and leads. I'm currently in the tags field. So let me know if that helps or if I need to show again. So once again, this is what I did. Again, come up with all your own categories. Nobody sees this. The clients don't see this. It's just for you to stay organized. Custom fields, let's talk about those. What are custom fields? So one of the things that a CRM is only as good as the information you put into it, right? And because it's your CRM and you're the one using it, there's going to be certain information that you want to know about your clients. So one of the fields that's not there, that's standard, is like, this is a good example, kids names. So on your clients, you may want to take, or pets names as well, but this is what this is. I set up kids names, and the way this works is you have to enter text. So like you would actually enter the name of the kids with a comma. And this, by putting them in this field or this section here, you can do up to 12 custom fields. It's going to show up on every contact record. So you'll see when we get into the record how we can add this information. Another example I want to give you is to add a custom field, there's different options. Typing in text, so putting numbers in, a date picker. So, you know, often you'll see in the system it has the typical dates you would expect. Birthday, wedding anniversary, it'll have, you know, other things like that, a home anniversary. And those are typically what's in there, but maybe you want to have something more specific like the kids' birthdays, the dog's birthdays, cats, or, you know, something along those lines, some major milestone. Maybe your client started a new job and you want to make a note that come next year, this client started a new job today, that you can send them a quick note. Hey, I just noticed that it's the first anniversary of your new job, and you can send them a quick note. The other thing I want to show you that's really interesting is the drop down select. So what would be a drop down? This is where you would want to know, for instance, the best example I can think of is timing. When is this person actually going to make a decision to move forward, to buy or sell? So we can go timing is what we're going to call it, drop down select, and then next. Now I'm going to add my actual choices for me to choose later on. So we're going to say 0 to 30 days. We're going to say 0 to 60 days. I'm sorry, 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days. Add another option, 60 to 90. And you might have a different way to do this. I'm sure you do. 90 plus. And there it is. So now when I hit save up here in the top right corner, see, that's one of my custom fields. And like I said, I can add 10 more of these. A CRM, really, this is a very robust primary system. A lot of you are using other platforms. We know this, Top Producer, Follow Up Boss, Chime, whatever you're using. What I really ask that you do is to really take a hard look at Booj and give it a fair chance that maybe it could meet the needs of your business, because then you don't have to spend extra on ancillary products. So we really want you to really take a look at this, because you get Booj no matter what, and it's performing and functioning directly with the RE/MAX sites that are out there. So just want to make mention of that. Integrations. So the integrations that will be coming down the road will be sync with Google Contacts, Outlook Contacts, and iCloud or Apple. So those contacts will be synced in the future, as well as the actual calendars. So that's where the integrations will come in, and then you can make the connections. So we're not sure quite exactly what that looks like or a date, but we're hoping later second quarter or early this summer. Offered leads. So this section right here is where you enter your zip codes. So I wish it said zip codes, but it says offered leads. But what you're going to be able to do is enter 10 zip codes. Here's the trick to doing it. So a lot of you have run into this where I've seen this in training class. Some of you entered 10 zip codes with a comma in between and it's not working. You have to enter each zip code separately. So I'll just put in a couple more here. And once I enter, then I hit enter. See how it keeps entering new ones? Oops, so you go up here again, enter a zip code, and there you go. So I can choose 10. So make sure you do them one at a time. So in the offered leads section, this middle section here is kind of tricky. And some of you might have done this incorrectly in the setup wizard, but what it's actually telling you to do is to check boxes of leads you do not want to receive. So think about that. So if you check boxes in here, you better jump in there right now and uncheck these, because that means you're limiting yourself in the type of leads that you're going to get. So this is all about the leads you do not want to receive. I don't want to give you any examples where you don't want leads, so I'm not going to do that. But I want you to really pay attention to that you didn't check anything off. In this section right here, text message notifications, this is going to be crucial for Tuesday's go live date when we have those leads. But 317, my number here is in here. Put in your number, and you don't have to put a wireless carrier in, unlike before, okay? Any questions on any of the leads and contact settings? Or anything worth talking about aloud?
I want to add again, we've got a few people that are saying that they're not seeing the same thing that you're seeing on their screen. I want to remind everybody that if that's the case, please reach out to our support team so we can make sure you have the appropriate access. Especially for brokers, we need to make sure that you're appropriately tied to all of your offices in the back end. That isn't something that we're going to be able to assist with on this webinar. So please just go ahead and reach right out to our support team. Again, you can get there, get to our team by www.maxhelpsyou.com or through the Max Helps You tile in Max Center.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And again, I know we're moving at a pretty steady pace here. We have a lot to get through, and we're going to send the recording out today, so you'll be able to pause and watch back. But I also want to just quickly show you again where I was working is here in the top right corner. You should all have a silhouette. Now, if you're an office admin, you're not going to have access to lead settings or anything like that, or you're not going to be able to set up leads or lead notifications because you're not getting leads. But as Erica said, if you are an agent, I'm working inside of an agent account right now. In the top right corner, it says settings. And where I was located, you click on settings pages right here in the left. You click on the actual box or this little menu. It looks like a hamburger menu, and you get all of these choices. So we were working inside of the contacts and leads settings, which are very important. Okay. And then I was working my way down this list. So offered leads, once again, is where the zip codes exist, and you can choose 10. So maybe that's what it was, where you weren't in the right place. But if, like Erica said, if it's anything other than that, then we do need to hear from you, and we need to report those issues. Okay, so other things inside of settings, we were in contacts and leads. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to add a contact, because it's going to make a lot more sense once you're inside of a contact record. So let's go to contacts and leads. And now if you have leads in here because you've imported, or some of your Lead Street leads came over, that's fine. But just for the purposes of an exercise, we're going to all enter a contact together, just so you can see what you can do, because you're going to be doing a lot of this. You get business cards from people. I know a lot of you have business cards sitting on your desk right now that need to be entered somewhere. You're going to meet people all the time. You're going to get phone calls, and you need to manually enter leads into your Booj CRM. And you can do this from mobile, of course, too. But here's what's going to happen is we're going to go ahead and click add or import. Now we're going to come back to the list, but let's click on add individual. So let's just go ahead and add yourself in if you want to. That's entirely up to you. But I'm actually going to enter, let's see, we'll put in Ryan Reynolds. He's going to buy a home with me. All right, then what you're going to do is, here's where it gets interesting. So whenever a lead comes in from remax.com, it is considered a lead, okay? The system, meaning Booj, is going to assume once you've started working with this person and qualify them, then they become a contact. So then you can actually move them over to being a contact. When you import lists from other platforms, they will all come in as contacts. even though a lot of you might consider them leads. This is where it gets a little interesting. So one of the things you can do is use a tag on whatever you want it to be to you. So I'm going to get into that in a moment, but let's talk through adding a contact. So right now we're going to leave it as a lead because this is someone I just met. I haven't really officially qualified them. Under the tags, this is where you can add maybe how you met them, where they came from. So we could just say this was a sign call. And notice you can type it right here. Remember this section I was in before where I added a tag? If you add it here, then it will also, once I hit enter, now it becomes part of the tag library that I can choose for any of my clients. So we're going to leave it like that. Put their information in. I'm just going to make one up. And then we're going to go in here. Let's do an email. And we'll go from there. If you want to get more specific with custom labels, like if this is someone that's specifically part of a group or club or high school alumni or something like that, you can always do that too. But right in here, now you've got to find your person that you just entered. So find the person that you entered and click on their name right here, either the first or last name. So what you should be seeing now is a contact record, and it's very robust. There's a lot going on inside of here. So one of the things that's brand new, and by the way, notice how it says convert to contact. Right now the system recognizes that I put it in as a lead. I haven't started working with this person, but once I do, I'll convert it to a contact. It doesn't mean you're going to have less or more information about this person. It's just the way the system has flagged it. Right here, this lead score. This is going to be something brand new. So now a lot of you score and rank your clients. We understand that. But the system intuitively is going to rank your client by activity level. So how much are you interacting with them? Now, in order to make this a true reading, if you would, of this client and their lead score, what you're going to need to do is kind of change your behaviors a little bit. When you start using the Booj CRM mobile app, what you need to be doing is calling, emailing, and texting them from the mobile app, not from your phone, not from the phone, not from the texting icon. I know that's going to be really difficult to make that change, but if you do it that way, if you really like numbers and stats, then it will record a true reading of the lead score of this person. So like I said, that's going to take some changes on everyone's part to start using the app that way. Then there's less manual entry involved. Now, if you forget to do it, because you will, trust me, if you forget to do it, then what you're going to need, you can go back right here where it says log, and you can log a phone call or a meeting that you just had, or just a quick note. So if you forgot to do that. Now, texting is obviously not available as of yet. That'll happen on Tuesday, or later in the day on Tuesday. So just to let you know, you can add more tags here if you want to. Let's keep moving down. So activities. On this particular client, there's a couple of things you can do. Let's say that you have an appointment with them. So if you click add event, now remember, this calendar only lives inside of Booj. It's not synced up to any of your other calendars, but you can actually use this invite just like any other calendar invite. So this is not an all-day event. This is going to be tomorrow, and we're going to just leave it at 11 o'clock. It's not repeating, but what is this going to be? The title of it is going to be a listing appointment. To list, we'll just call it listing appointment. Now the consumer is going to see this, so maybe you won't call it that. You'll call it, just meeting. And then of course you can have the notifications, which are reminders. So those are always, that's the best thing about a calendar invitation. So you can put in the location and details. And what you're going to do next is notice that it's got the client's name already in here. And when you hit this checkbox here, send invite upon save, as soon as you save this particular item or this event, then the client's going to be notified. And here's the thing, everyone in the world is used to calendar invites, so send away, and they'll like that and they'll appreciate that because you're keeping them accountable and you're keeping them organized and it's on their calendar. So I'm not going to actually add that, but when I do, it will show up here under their activities. The other thing I can do is I can set up tasks. Tasks will be to-dos. So to-dos can be done for either yourself personally, or they can be done on a particular contact or on a deal. We're going to talk about deals because you can now manage your deals or your transactions on the back end, on the list and buy side. So this task, let's say, is associated, as you can see already, to this client because his name is filled in. So what we're going to do is we'll just make one. We'll just say I'm going to make a phone call, and I need to call this person by tomorrow, and it's a high priority. Now, team leaders, you'll be able to assign these tasks to team members. So just to let you know. And then down here at the bottom, you're going to put in whatever it is. Call to discuss price. Okay. Can't spell today. All right. So I'm going to save it. Oh, sorry. Look what I did. Got to assign it to myself. Okay. So now there's a task here that will be added to this person's task list. Now there's something called task plans. So you do have to go into the overview of the task area. There's really good videos on RE/MAX University on setting up task plans, by the way. This is where you can set up basically a checklist. A lot of you have checklists already for all of your deals that on the buy or sell side, and or maybe for a new lead, whatever it is, you can set up a task plan. And once you set those up, then you can apply a particular task plan to this lead or to this contact. So just want to call that out. All right, so that's what's happening in the initial dashboard. Let's work our way down the side here. So deals. So as I mentioned, you can actually now set up transactions on the back end of all your deals that you're working, all your transactions. And in this case, we're inside of a client record, which is going to be probably what you're going to do most of the time. Now, over in the far right corner here, see this plus button right here? This is where you can go in at any time, add a new contact, deal, event, or task. So the plus button always means you can add. You can also be inside the contact record once you get them entered into your system, or maybe they came in from another place. What you want to do is, let's say that, and this is going to happen a lot, this is a seller, but they're also going to need a new place to move to. So you're actually going to have two deals on this person. You're going to have a buy side and a sell side. So we're going to open this up. I'm sorry, we're going to go ahead and add the deal by clicking the blue link over here. And then what we're going to do is, this is going to be the sell side. So we're just going to give it the property address name. And we're just going to call it out, Taylor Street here, make one up. And this is the list side. Then we know that this particular case, now when you first set up or get this listing, you could set it up as active, or let's say that this is pending. So this is a real common scenario. So this will be a pending deal for the seller on the sell side. And then what's going to happen is you're going to put the price in, and then the commission, whatever that ends up being. So then let's put in the closing date. So the closing date will be, we'll just say April 30th. And it's in there. Notice that the primary participant is the client, because remember, I'm inside the client record. So this will make your life a lot easier if you do it this way. Additional participants, it is still a best practice. It's still a best practice to make sure that you have every contact in as a separate contact. So even if there's a co-borrower, a spouse, or a significant other, it's best to have that person separate, because when you enter them here, now I've got other people in here. So I got Tom Hanks in here. So Tom Hanks and Ryan Reynolds are buying a house together, or they're selling a house together, I should say. So I'm going to do add deal. So that person has to be in your database in order for that to appear there. So notice now I've got one deal. Now I can add, let's say that, so we have an accepted offer on the property that we're selling. Now we have an accepted offer on the property that we're moving to. So we'll put in our next address here. Let's see, we'll go here. And then we're going to change this to the buy side, and we're in pending stage. And whatever that accepted price was, and the expected close date. So we're going to have a crazy April 30th. This person's doing both in the same day. So once again, you can add that additional participant, or maybe there isn't one, and then you do add deal. So again, very common for you to have two deals in here. Now, here's the thing I haven't mentioned yet. You can actually sync your paperless transaction systems over to the Booj platform. Right now, the 3 that are connected are DocuSign, Dotloop, and ZipLogix. So that'll make it a little bit easier, less manual work involved. I have to be honest though, we don't have access to those platforms. We do not have a way to train on those, but if you contact those companies directly, there is a protocol for that. The way to find the way to integrate those or set those up is you go to the top right corner, you go back to settings. I'm going to come back into this contact record. So top right corner, go back to settings, settings pages, and then system. Then you want to click on integrations. This is where you can connect your lead parsers as well as your paperless transaction platforms that you're using. Okay. So in order to connect to Realtor.com or Zillow, you follow the instructions in this box. By the way, please disable your pop-up blockers on Booj because there's a lot of pop-up windows that you might not be seeing. So that's important. Zillow has different instructions. I don't know much about HomeSpotter, sorry. And then again, on these platforms here, here at even our support team, we don't have the ability to support you on these paperless transaction companies or these platforms. Contact them directly. Let them know that you're with RE/MAX and you're trying to connect to Booj if you run into any issues, okay? All right, so I wanna go back to contacts and leads. Let's open that contact record back up again. So I'm gonna go back here. And remember, we're kind of working our way down the left-hand side. So we just added a couple deals. Notice in the activities here, I've got my phone call in there. Details. Details is all the information that you would want. Address, phone number, all of that information. One of the things you can do now is you can add their social media profile. So if you go in here, you would want to go to the, like say, go to their Facebook profile. You got to open it up, copy that URL, paste it in here. You choose the network that you are connecting them to or connecting this to, and it will go that route. Now it's not a direct, what it is, it's a hyperlink that you're setting up. It's not like a direct feed to their social profile, but it's actually a hyperlink. So the icon will appear here for Facebook. And then let's say you get that notification that it's their new job first anniversary. Guess what? Inside of the contact record, click on their Facebook hyperlink. It'll go directly to their profile and you can post on social media wishing them a happy first anniversary in their job or their wedding anniversary or whatever. But this is a way to really get all the information on your clients. Preferred marketing and communications is very important, of course, so make sure you can fill that in. Important dates, as I mentioned before, some of the common ones, see birthday, wedding, you could do a custom one in here. Again, we were talking about like the job anniversary, but the custom fields can also be used for that too. And let's look at those custom fields. Here's kids' names. What you do is once it's in here, you click on the words, and then you just type in 2 names. This is for Katie in our company. Those are her kids. So save. And then the kids' names will appear, at least they should. What happened? Let me refresh. There it is. Okay, timing. Remember how we set up the custom field for timing? What is this person's urgency? What's going to happen? So, and when, more importantly. So let's say that I talk to this client and they're about 30 to 60 days out, and we're gonna hit save. Okay, so, and then of course you can add more that because you're gonna think of custom fields right away. What's important to you to know about about all of your clients? So you can fill out the rest of this. Connections, again, would be who are they connected to, whether it's a lender, it could be a lender, or it's a co-borrower. Or in what instance you might use a household. This could be multi-generational families, and you can set them all up here and connect them together. Again, make sure that you have each person in as a separate contact. Listings. So listing manager, right now it's grayed out. We hope to see this very soon in the next quarter, if not sooner, but the listing manager here is going to be populated right here at the top, and it will become live. You have the ability to manage listings. Notes is pretty self-explanatory. You can actually talk your notes into the field when you use the CRM app. User activity. This is where being the PBA really pays off. So when you are not the PBA, you're going to have limited ability to see what they're doing, what they're browsing, searching. But if you are the PBA, what actually ends up happening is you're going to see everything. You're going to see what they're looking at, what they're viewing, what they're favoriting, and all kinds of intel. History is just everything that's happened, everything that I've done on this account. As you can see right now, there's been 9 things new that I've added on this record, and it'll show up, and it'll help you have good recall. If you know you were supposed to call someone and you forgot if you did, or sent an email or set up a deal, you can go here and look at the entire history and make sure you did it. Campaigns, drip campaigns are not live yet, sometime Q2, and they will appear here if you're doing such. Inbox. Inbox is really important, everyone, because this is where, when you're, especially when you're using the Booj mobile CRM, be emailing, you will be doing all kinds of activities out of there. When a client replies to you, those replies will actually show up here in the inbox. So any emails that are sent to you. Really important is the forms. If someone goes to your website or to remax.com and they type in the box where there's an opportunity to ask questions, instead of just saying interested in this property, they could actually type in whatever they want, which is even more important, and it's probably a better lead because that's happening. When you open up your inbox, you will see a red number, which means there's unread messages. So you should pay attention to that. That's going to be really important moving forward. How are we doing on questions? Okay. All right, contacts and leads. Once again, let's look at importing a list, because I think a lot of you are already at this stage, or maybe you're doing it already. But up here in the top right, if you click where it says import list, you'll have the ability to do a couple things. So right here, currently, you have a very seamless integration to import your contacts from Boomtown, Chime, or Follow Up Boss. Those systems are in there now. There is talk of BombBomb and Top Producer coming in the next phase, the next round where they do this particular feature. So make sure if you want to go ahead and do those manually, now's the time. The way to do that, though, there's a couple ways. So in this section right here where it says upload a CSV file, if you export contacts, this is really important. If you export contacts from another place, and this could be Gmail, this could be your MLS contacts, this can be from all those places we just talked about, like Top Producer, you must be using a CSV file. So it cannot be an Excel spreadsheet, it has to be CSV. They're basically one and the same. But CSV is the #1 requirement. Now, you can either do one of two things. You can import that CSV template as it is, because Booj is intuitive and it will help map those fields. You can also use this template here that is considered the best sample template. So click this blue link right here. And by the way, if you're not seeing this, disable those pop-up blockers. But you're going to go here, and this is going to open up our import sample that will show you exactly what those fields are going to be. So there it is. So you can actually get rid of all this filler text. It's just for samples, but do not delete or change all these column headers or what's in there. Now, we get a lot of questions about, can I import contacts all as one tag, or maybe even more than one tag? Notice in this sheet right here, you can actually do up to 3 different tags or categories, okay? It will bring over notes, it'll bring over other fields, but once again, please make sure you're importing. If you've got 2 or 3 people involved on a transaction or in a household, still bring them over each as separate contact records, okay? Any questions about that? And remember to set up those notifications so that you do get notified that the import has taken place and that it's complete. So I'm going to exit out of there. So I want to give you a couple other quick tips. One of the things that might happen is, first of all, the system in Booj, there's 2 things I want to share with you. 2 things in Booj that will happen is that you will actually end up with duplicates. So the system does accept duplicates. So you can actually go in and you can use the find duplicates tool, and you can just look by first name or last name. So if I put in first name, I don't have duplicates by first name. So I'm going to click done. Maybe you want to look by last name. I don't have any of those either, so I'm in good shape. But this will be a good way for you to sort of clean up your database, because some of you might import and then not realize you've got all these duplicates. So, but at least it gives you the opportunity to decide what you want to keep and don't keep. In the past, Lead Street, for example, just wouldn't let duplicates in at all. So you can do it that way. And the other thing is there's a couple different ways you can search your database, which I think you're really going to like. So if you go up here to the top where it says filters, like right now I can search by the obvious things, phone number, email, last name, first name. Let's say I want to search by tags. I go up here to manage filters and I click tags. So now look at, I can actually go into my drop down, all those tags that were created. Let's say I only want to look up those that are from my golf outing. And there we go, I got one person, George Clooney. So you can choose whatever your option is here. I love this. I think this is really cool. So you can do so many different things. What are some of the other things? You can search by, look at this, by status. Hey, I'm gonna search for the ones that are gonna give me the most gross commission income potential. That sounds like fun. And then we've got birthdays. You got a slow day today. Hey, who's having a birthday today? If I click here, who's going to show me has a birthday today? And then you put in the dates. So many great things that you can do. So another thing you can do is, let's go back to the main database. And just remember there's one thing.
Really good questions.
Okay, sure.
So Denise asks, how can you edit a contact's name?
How can you edit a contact's name? So if you go up here, you click on the contact, and then right up here at the top where the edit button is, this is where you edit it. That was easy. And while I'm in here, I forgot to show all of you this. Over here to the far right is the actions button. Remember I mentioned how you can send a contact record altogether to another agent anywhere in the US, in RE/MAX, of course. And if you send it, it's going to be out of your database, so you won't have it anymore. But if you share it, then you're going to have the ability to share that where you have it and the other agent has it too. So I just want to mention that. What are some of the other questions?
How do you merge duplicates, and do you have to delete a duplicate? And will you lose any data if you do merge them?
So let me do this. So first of all, to get to all of your contacts, so we've got all right here. Let me, I need to get this tag off. So we're going to go here. I need to uncheck that. So now I've got my whole database left. So I don't have any duplicates in here. Let me put one in here in a second. Let me just do that really quick. Let's see what happens. We're live. So I'm going to put in Mickey Mouse again. And we're going to, oh, did it in the wrong section. And we're just going to enter some information. Email. Okay. All right, so now I actually have a duplicate. So let's show how this works. So I'm going to do find duplicates, first name. So there we go, I've got Mickey Mouse. So you actually can, what you do is you select all, and then you hit merge. So now it's going to ask me to review the information. And then by doing so, I just have to determine what it is that I want to, do I want to just merge it as it is, or do I need to go in and make some adjustments? It's just giving me that option to do so. I'm going to click merge. And, oh, sorry, looks like I actually have to make some choices. Contact one. I'm going to do keep both. That should work. And there we go. So I hope that helped. So that's one way to do it. I want to show you something else that I think you'll enjoy too, and it's called batches on your contacts. So on your contacts, what you can do is, let's say that you want to assign a tag, or you want to do something like an export or labels to a certain group of people. So let's say you're not checking all, but you could actually do, like, I'm going to check 3 of these. And now notice what happens as soon as you hit this checkbox, you get a whole new menu of things that can happen up here. So I have the option that, by the way, a lot of you have been asking, how do you export leads? You actually have to select leads in order to get this to appear, but this is where I can export. I don't want to delete, but I can apply a particular task plan, like maybe there's a to-do list on new leads, or I can add a tag. So let's say I want all of these people to have the tag, I met them at the golf outing. So add. I think I'm excited. I think there's so many fun things you can do with this. And other questions about contacts? I just got a couple quick things to cover, and then we're going to move on to websites. All right, so let's go to campaigns. Now, drip campaigns will not be live until the second quarter sometime. We'll keep you posted on that. The newsletter the same, but right now there are templates inside of the campaigns library that you can use in single send format, or you can set up what's called a recipient list and send it to multiple people. But you can't set it up where it's a drip where it's constantly going. So you're going to have to, unfortunately, we have to wait for that feature. But inside of the campaigns, as you can see, I've been adding things in here. But if you want to do a single send, like I mentioned, then what you want to do is you click on, you stay in the single section, you click add campaign, and we're just going to title this our spring market campaign. And again, this is just a single send because recurring and drip is not available. Well, you can do recurring on email. So now it's going to give me a choice to add my templates. So hoping this cooperates, again, disable those pop-up blockers. One thing that happens on this screen, sometimes it takes a minute to load, so don't get impatient, but it will load, or you might have to refresh. And this is just showing 5 results per page. If I change this to 25, it's going to refresh, and this takes a little bit of time sometimes. And now I have the choice of looking at all these other templates. Okay. So let's just choose one of these. Must-dos before listing home. I'm going to use this template. Probably should preview it first, but I'm just going to do that. It looks very similar to your website pages that you can edit. So notice that you can make changes to these. Some of you don't want to because that's the point of having these, right? Because then you don't have to do any work. And that's a good thing. So let's just say we're going to leave it like it is. We're going to do save and continue. And now it's pretty much ready to go. So what I need to do now is I need to select a recipient or create a list. So this could be, you can put one person on a list if you want to. So I can do, let's just choose a list. I happen to have a list. I'll show you where you can create that. And then where do I want to send it? I'm going to click send. Or you can schedule in advance, which you're really going to like too. So we will say this will go on Tuesday at a certain time of day. Probably want to send that first thing, 8 a.m. And then I click schedule in advance. So now as you can see, this is getting ready to go out on Tuesday. So the next thing is recipient list. As I mentioned, you can create a list. And what you do is you just go up here to the top and you name the list. So this could be my, let's see. This could be an appreciation event. It could be whatever you want it to be. So clients 2020 list, and we're going to go create list. And now it's going to give me the option to add individuals to it. So I can search this way. And by the way, you can have individuals on every list. They can be on multiple lists. So see, as soon as I find the first name, I hit enter. And then it'll keep adding people to it. So I'll put in here. So let's do that. Oh. Hey, Erica, why is that only letting me add one person at a time? What am I doing here? Let's see. Any ideas? You're on mute.
I know that yesterday they were doing a lot of testing on it with the new sprint release.
Maybe
so
that's
maybe why, because they're trying to push real hard to make sure that drips are available before March 31st.
Okay. Well, I said Q2. See, I set the right expectations, everyone. But because I knew it was a possibility. But yeah, that would be nice. It'll be a nice bonus if we get them. Yeah, so it looks like there's something off there. Anyway, you can't add more than one person to the list. I noticed this the other day. So that's how you set up a list. And you can do a single send like I just did to a certain number of people. If you just want to look at the templates in the campaigns, this is where they live, and you can do that. Okay? All right, and finally, if you want to see your calendar inside of Booj, go to the far right and click right here. And then it looks like a calendar. And then view calendar is located right here. It looks like any other calendar, but it only sits inside of here. You can add events, you can add tasks and reminders and invite people, and just like any other calendar. All right, I'm going to move on to the websites unless there's anything else, because I think that's the part everyone's most excited about. So let's talk. All right, so our websites, everyone, we're so excited, and thank you so much for weathering the storm with us and not having websites for a period of time, but we are super thrilled to have these. The Booj websites are going to be endless possibilities for you. Like I said earlier, it's a virtual storefront for you. And these websites, first of all, they're mobile responsive. So the best advice I can give you when setting up these websites is please do not overcomplicate it. Remember, the consumer is not going to do this very often. They're going to get impatient. So think about the mobile experience when you're designing this, and keep the content, keep it simple but impactful. And there's no need to load up every single page on your website. So the consumers will be looking on mobile. They want to see what they want to see, which is usually how to search for homes. They want to see what you're all about. They want to see what the area is about. And that's what I want you to keep in mind. So when you're testing your site, when you're trying to see what it looks like, what you've done, or preview windows, sometimes you might run into errors. And we do want to emphasize that you need to clear your browser cache in order to sometimes to get this to work. One of the things you can do is go incognito, which when I go live again, I'm happy to show you how to do that. In order to see what consumers are seeing, you basically log into a browser window on Chrome as a stranger. So your logins are not remembered, errors are not remembered, so it's a good way to really test things. Mac Center profile, we're going to look at that process here in just a second. Everything that you put in the Mac Center profile will feed your website information, your Booj information, as well as the referral directory in Mac Center on how you connect with other agents around the world. Remax.com leads we talked about, so we don't have to cover that. But once again, just a quick reminder, your custom domain can be added to your website on Tuesday, on March 31st. Erica, do we have to wait until that 3 o'clock time frame, or is it pretty much from the moment we get up on the 31st? Do we know?
I believe that we have to wait until until the transition actually happens at 3 Mountain Time.
3 Mountain Time. Okay, so that technically then is 5 Eastern. So, all right, so you guys get an extra day to get ready for it, in a sense, meaning the whole day. So, okay, thank you. Good to know. And then once again, for broker owners, please make sure you've executed your IDX agreement with 73 from the Remax LLC Data Warehouse Company in order to get your sites to go live. Now, let's talk about bio pages. And with respect to that, on these bio pages, remember in the past you had single page agent websites. We called them SPAs. And as a result of that, you had your own, it was a profile page on remax.com. So that's what a bio page is. It's actually a profile page. So all of you have that. So remax.com at the highest level is available. And then multi-office is underneath it, teams, agents, and team members. So every one of you has a profile page on each of these entities on remax.com. So the bio page is the profile page. What does that look like? An agent profile page will look just like this. If you haven't done this already, part of your homework is go search for yourself on the Remax agent directory on remax.com and pull up your profile page. Then I would like you to bookmark that or save that as a favorite on your browser so that you have access to it all the time. So the next thing is, but again, what this is going to look like is your photo, your story. I'll show you where to add this bio on Mac Center. And then also you'll have the ability to have this hyperlink where it says my website. This will link out to Michelle, this agent's. It'll link out to her individual Booj agent website, which is outside of the remax.com platform. Still part of Booj, but outside of that. So this is a bio page that's hosted on remax.com. When a consumer clicks my website, it's going to take them out and directly to her website. So I just want to make that clear. So let's go into Mac Center. And let's check this out. So we're going to go in and we are going to go to Mac Center. So keep Booj open, but click right over here where it says Mac Center Apps. In the top right corner, you're going to see this, which is hopefully your picture. If it's not, we're going to fix that. So click this right here. And then I want you to click where it says Update Profile. So right here. And this will take you into the whole section where you can log in or you can go in and make all your changes on your profile. Now I don't have a picture here, but I need to. So we're going to look at a quick overview of this. Now right here where it says edit, this is where you can go in and make any changes. Like if you need to change your name, if you want to go by a different name, like if it's Robert, but you want to go by Bob or something like that, you can go in and make those changes. You can also now change to contact info. And what you can do here is, this is your forwarding email section, by the way, everyone. A lot of you ask us that all the time. How do I know where my remax.net's forwarding to? That is located here in the contact info section where it says email. And this is going to show the ISP email means where is it forwarding to. So you need to update that if you haven't done so, or if it needs to be. Social media information. This is where you can add all your social media icons. So once again, just like on the client record, so now you're going to choose what it is. So this is Facebook, and then you put in your link and it'll create a nice little social hyperlink that both consumers and your fellow Remaxers will see. So add those. This is again going to be all part of your homework. Phone number, everything else. Photo. This is where you add your photo. I want to mention that it's really, really important that your photo is recent and it's high resolution, because you don't want the consumers seeing something pixelated or grainy or 10 or 15 years old. So make sure that it's a good one. And it needs to be, I would recommend somewhere between 1 and 3 megabytes, and which would be really good. And then 5 megabytes is the max. Usually a professional headshot's going to be in that range, and it's super high quality, and you deserve that. So you should have the best out there. Professional details, once again, fill in your information, and it's all available here. Personal details is where you're going to add your bio, and that's super important for your bio page as well as your website, where we're going to add a bio block. So edit this here, write your story. By the way, there's no spell check inside of these boxes, so write your bio with Google Docs or Word. And I just keep it simple though. I would not overcomplicate that either, but make it about you, who you are, what you do outside of work, such as hobbies and interests. Do you give back to the community? And what you're going to do for your clients, what makes you different. So just write your story and make it relatable so that people want to work with you. All right, MLS affiliation. If you have, you're plugging in this section here, I want to make mention once again that only the broker owners have to execute that IDX agreement for your websites, for your office website, to enable the agent sites. No one else has to fill that out, just the broker owner. But in this section right here, it should have your affiliation here. If you see something different, please reach out to our support team, but you should have that information in here. Okay. All right, so a couple of things. I want to show you some examples, and then we're going to get live into the program once again. Okay, so real quick on the websites, you're going to have, once again, it's a standalone website just for you. On Tuesday, you'll be able to assign a custom domain to it, but these are multiple page sites. These are standalone, and it's your opportunity to promote yourself. There's going to be the ability to add reviews to it. You'll do Zillow, slightly different than adding other manual reviews, and I'll show you how to do that too. There's also valuation pages added to all of the RE/MAX websites, which is .com, office, agent, and team websites, where it can generate some seller leads. And it pulls from 3 different sources, which is Zillow, ePraisals, and SmartZip. So, right here, we've got agent websites. So Michelle Belisari is an agent in Florida. And before I show you this site, I want to make mention that she has had her website since August. So there's a lot done to it. She's done a lot of work to it. It's very robust. Just want you to see the possibilities. I don't want you to be intimidated or to expect to have to do this right away. We're going to give you some more design ideas, some quick little tips on the webinars next week to kind of get you started and take you to the next level. But let's take a look at Michelle's site and how that looks. So let me know that that's, hopefully you can see what I'm seeing. And there you go. So what'll happen here is, so her site, she has a custom image. And you'll notice that she's got her name and everything else, her photo. So you can create your own custom image and put it right here. Her search bar is located right underneath the header image. She has what's called a listing block here, which you won't be able to utilize until you know that your IDX is enabled. And then she also did some custom menu items here where she created some area pages. And see, these are all located here in the menu section. So there are things you can do custom, like she did here. and you can actually customize your entire menu, which I'm going to show you how. That's located under navigation. So different things going on inside of this site that I think you'll enjoy. You can add a video, and it has to be a link. It cannot be embedded, and it cannot be uploaded. And she's got a lot going on here. So just a really beautiful site with this information. She's got, if you click on one of these areas like Boca Raton, this is going to show the area that she created. So this is a page that she created just for Boca Raton. And it will show you what she's done, like in the way of images. And she did something really advanced. She created an opportunity to see just the listings in that area. And if anyone's interested, we're definitely going to show you that next week for sure, or today if we have time.
Okay,
Okay,
Michelle,
so
we're getting a couple of questions. If you can show where
you cut out.
if you can show where you go to find the templates for the websites.
Yeah, if you can hold on a second, everyone, I'm going to go right into the site here in just a second. I'm just showing examples. Okay, so another one I want to show you is, let me just go into this browser window. This one is an agent in Idaho. Oops, sorry. It's tburrows.remax.com. One of the things I want to mention too is if you do not assign a custom domain to your site and you publish it, the system will assign you a custom domain. Well, they'll assign you a unique domain name, and you'll notice it'll be just like this. His is tburrows.remax.com. That's his remax.net username. So it'll be the same for you. So if you don't assign a custom domain on Tuesday and you publish, like for me, it would be mhoyt.remax.com. So same for you. So you actually will have a domain name that could essentially be marketed, could be put on a business card. Remax.com, and Remax has given you permission to have that. But again, think about a custom domain. So right here, we've got these images here. Notice he added a bio block. You cannot edit this inside of the website. This is all fed over from Max Center. So I wanted you to see this. It's called a bio block. He also has manual reviews added to his page. And then he also has his Zillow reviews. So you can do both. And he's got some social information going on here too. So just one, it's tburrows.remax.com. And then it was Michelle Belisari. Wait, I always get that wrong. Michelle.belisari.remax.com, I think is what hers was. Let me go into the platform now. I wanted you to see those examples, and we're going to look at that. So just want to let you know that by default, whenever you go into Booj, it's always going to go to the CRM dashboard. The next thing you want to do is you want to get into the website section, and this is going to take you to all of your main features. Now, there is no website application, so you can't do this on mobile. And remember, you're going to have limited availability, or limited abilities, I should say, to do what we're about to do on a tablet or an iPad. So you really should do this from desktop. So by going into here, just so you know, you have a website already set up for you. It's got out-of-the-box content that Remax has provided. You could technically publish and have that, but that might not be your first choice. And how do you know what it looks like? The best way to see it is to, first of all, you'll notice this site is not published, and you can tell because it's a blue publish button. Publish means it's live. Consumers can find it. There is there's a unique domain that's assigned to you while you're in preview period right here, before you publish. And before you click that, I want you to take note, there's a little I right here on the left-hand side of this domain, and it's going to give you these username and password. So please jot this down or look at this on your own screen. It's going to be beta-user for the username. Password is beta tester 123 exclamation. So once again, I'm in website dashboard. And then if you hover over this little I next to your domain, then you'll see the username and the password. And this is what you want to write down, okay? Because you're going to need this to preview your site. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about here. So let's go ahead and we're going to click. I want everyone to click this link right here because you're going to get a preview of what your site actually looks like. This is where I'm going to enter beta user. And then remember, it's a capital B, beta, capital T, tester. Oh, I think I typed that wrong. Hold on. Hard to type and talk at the same time. 1, 2, 3, exclamation mark, and then hit sign in. Did I lose anybody? Hopefully not. All right, so this is my website. This is what it looks like. Now, mine's gonna look a little different than yours. I've been kind of playing around with it. But some of you might notice that your search bar is down here. Maybe you want it here front and center on top of the image. I'm gonna show you how to change that layout or that template. But I've done some work here. I've got a content block here or there and just kind of done some experimentation. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to leave this window open. See how it says your demo account up here. So leave that tab open. Let's go back to Booj. And now I'm going to show you how to change that layout. This is the home page, by the way. This is not all pages. This is just the home page. Click right here where it says change home page. Now, if you want it to look like mine did on the screen, change it to agent search layout instead of agent social layout. Okay? So agent search layout, click the green check mark or make it a green check mark. Go down to the bottom. And then I want you to hit save. Okay. And next, before we get into editing the site itself, I want to really call attention to something very important and very exciting. So right now, I want everyone to pick up their phones and I want you to all delete the Remax mobile app off your phone altogether. So this is the Remax search app. Just delete it altogether. You press and hold it, it shakes, and then you hit the X and get rid of it. So even if it's the newest version, get rid of it. Because now we're going to do something that will only work if you don't have the mobile app on your phone. So once you get it deleted, then I want you to go here to this section where it says mobile app branding. I want you to enter your cell phone number into this area. So I'm going to put mine in. And then I want you to click the word text or the button for text. Notice it says message sent. What I just did is I sent myself my unique mobile URL link for my personally branded mobile app of Remax. So this is the new way to do it. And like I said, that's why you have to delete the app off your phone. And this only works with someone on the other end who does not have the mobile app either. So what's going to happen is I just got my text message and I open this up and see how it's got, look in the camera if you can, or look at the camera. So this has an actual link that's sent to me. And when I click on it, it's gonna, what it does is prompts me to download the Remax app. And when I open it, it's gonna have your face on it because it's your version, okay? Now I do wanna make mention too that it does not automatically make you their PBA because they're using your mobile app. That all has to do with Remax.com. But this will ensure if they're using the mobile app, whatever the activity they do on the mobile app will come directly to you, okay? So we talked earlier about the PBA and how to promote that. So this is going to be another opportunity to connect with your clients by just sending them the link to your new mobile app. You cannot mass text. In fact, I highly discourage that because I get a lot of spam texts. I'm sure you do too. We don't want you to fall into that trap. But what you want to do is you can go in and selectively choose who you want to send this to. And moving forward with all your new leads, take that URL that you just got to yourself on your phone and put it on your notes on your phone. So then now you can send it to whoever you want. And at any time you can go right here into this section and you can send it to anyone. But again, this is a way, if you get people using your mobile app, then you're going to guarantee that those leads come directly to you whenever they're using that app. Okay? Just looking out for you. But that's a new way to do it, and we're excited about it. So let's go over to, now if there's something you want to change on the content of your homepage, what you need to do is click where it says Edit Agent Search Layout. And now what you see is I've got what you're going to love about these sites, if you haven't noticed already, is when you're designing on the left-hand side, you get to see a preview of it on the right-hand side, and you can see what's happening. So you've got this image here. And remember, see, by the way, if you change to that search layout that I mentioned and you want to see it again, remember to go back to your site, hit refresh, and then you'll see the change that you just made on the layout. Same thing with anything. So we're still working in preview mode, but we can still see what's happening. So notice some of these are in draft mode. So that means I'm working on them. Maybe I'm working on the content. You know, what is it that I can do here? So we've got the listing block that I've got in draft mode. So it's not showing here. My bio block is showing here, but it's showing in draft. And I'm going to show you how to add things to this. So let's say that you want to add a bio block. I'm going to get rid of this and show you how I did this. So a bio block will show just that. It'll show your headshot. Remember the Idaho agent T. Burrows that I had shown you earlier. What you want to do is on the home page in this view, you want to click where it says add block. Now there's a lot of different design blocks here, and I know you almost need a dictionary of sorts, or an index, I should say, to see what these are all about and how they're defined. But let's go down and scroll and let's find the bio block. So the bio block, as you can see, it says it cannot be edited here. It has to be edited in Max Center. So the way I've got my site set up right now is I've got my header and I've got content, but I just added another block. Think of the blocks like sections. Here's the page, and then you've got a block, block, block underneath it. That's how that works. So hopefully you saw that.
So we're getting a lot of questions asking if you can show how you got to this block section.
Okay, so once again, let me exit out of here. Go to website and go to dashboard. I am editing the home page. Haven't even gotten to the other pages. So website and dashboard. Then, and remember, this is being recorded, everyone, so you can watch it back and pause it. And then you want to click right here where it says edit agent search layout. It now should take you to this view, which is design view. And then it takes you to the preview mode. So what I did was I just added, and then you click down here where it says add block, and this will give you all your choices. So you can choose any of these. I'm going to hit cancel. But I just added the bio block. So find the bio block by searching down here, and it exists right here. So you choose the bio block, and then you'll notice it's active because it's turned over to green. Now, here's the thing. I don't want my bio block to be at the bottom. I prefer it to be right up at the top. So if you hover over this little block, notice there's like a cross symbol. If you hover over it and hold it, if I move it up, now it's at the top. Notice it says success, the block has been reordered. So now it's where I want it to be. So again, I do apologize. I know we're covering a lot in a short amount of time, but thanks for hanging with us, and hopefully that was at a better pace for you. So I want you to get used to that. We're going to come back to this, or we're going to come back to creating a page, but I want you to at least see how to edit your home page, okay? So we're going to exit out of here, and at any time you can preview your pages. And what we are in now is under website, we're under pages. So all the pages that have been created for your site, but not necessarily showing or on active navigation, exist here. We're going to come back to this and we're going to create a new page and show you how that works. So under website, once again, let's go to navigation. The navigation is your menu. So what do I mean by that? If you click on your page, once again, leave that tab open. In the top right corner, you've got menu. These are your active navigation items, okay? In case you're wondering, but that's what that looks like. So anything under here is going to be showing on the right-hand side of your screen where it says active navigation. What you've got is what's called a parent-child relationship. You've got the buy, which is the main header, and then the child underneath it, or the drop-downs, Buyer's Guided Mobile App, are located here, okay? Then you can actually make changes to this. You can also move these items around. So see where it says Remax blog, maybe I want to move this down to right underneath where it says my info. And then it'll just move that in the menu. Now anything on the left-hand side, these are pages that are created, but they're not in active navigation. So you may find at different times of the year, depending upon the events, maybe you've got a client appreciation event or seasonal events where you want to move pages over to active navigation and then maybe move them out afterwards. So that might be something you want to do. But one of the things you can do is add your own menu items and custom. And the best example I can think of is school district. So I've already done this on the last webinar, but I'm just going to get rid of this right now. And I'm going to redo it and show you what I did. So I do discourage you from linking to external sites from your own website, but there might be some exceptions. And I think school district is for a lot of you. So you want to send people directly to the school website. You're not going to be responsible for that information. You don't want to have to type it all out again. So sometimes it's a good thing. What you want to do is you want to click up here where it says create menu item. And this is where I'm going to call out the name of my school district. So I'm just going to give it a name. We'll just call it like School District 54 or whatever it is. Save. Okay, now, oh wait, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Let me edit that. Try again, one more time. A lot of webinars this week. All right, let's do that again. So create menu item, school district. We're going to create it as a link. School district X. Create link. Now, you need to go to the page of that school district and open up their website. So I'm going to just open up the actual website for the school district. I'm going to go up here to the top and I'm going to copy. And now I'm going to paste right there. So I just created a new menu item that says School District X. Now what I do is I go back to my site. Remember, this is going to be in my blue menu. I'm going to go back to my site. And I'm going to refresh the page. And this will now show me my new menu, my newly refreshed menu. And there's my school district right there. So I just created a parent tab, but if I want to add more things underneath it, like maybe you just put a tab that you create a new page that says about Milwaukee, about Boston, or wherever you're from, and then you start putting the areas underneath it the way that Florida agent did, you could do that as well. Okay. Questions on that, or hopefully that gives you some good ideas. The possibilities are endless. So we want to quickly cover a couple of these other things on this menu. Let's go to templates. So I know someone asked this about 20 minutes ago, so sorry it took so long. Here's where you get to all the templates and the ones that we looked at earlier, but this is just the library of them. So you're going to have your favorites. You don't want to delete ever, but oops, let's close that. So you can create your own. And then you can even clone them too. So if you want to just keep using them over and over again. This is grid view, but you can also go to list view if you have your favorites that you know the names of. All right. Let's move through. We're going to come back and create a page so you know how to do all that and find all those content blocks again. Testimonials. Let's talk about this. So you will not enter your Zillow reviews into this section. That will be done in a separate block, which we'll show you on the page we're building. This section is for you to add manual, copy and paste manually reviews from other platforms like Google, Facebook business page, or realtor.com, okay? So what you wanna do is you wanna go over here to add testimonial and you want to add the author, like who actually wrote this. So we've got a celebrity name in here. My agent rocks. Now, funny thing is you have to give yourself stars here, so you get to rate yourself. So how interesting is that? And what I want you to do though, before you enter these is, and something to know, these are not time stamped. Now, when you enter them in your system, you'll see that you entered 12 of them today, for instance, but they're not time stamped. So consumers really want to see how recent these reviews are, and the more recent, the better. So what I recommend as a best practice when you're adding these is to just go ahead and put in the date. So we'll put in 3/25/2020, so yesterday, and I click add. So that's just a recommendation of mine to you, and hopefully that might make more sense when they add the website, then they'll actually have dates on them. The Zillow reviews will be timestamped because those are live, those are real time. Okay. Finally, website settings. This is registration. So I know in the years past, we've had, and especially in certain parts of our region, we've been in favor of registration so we can capture better quality leads. But I think what we're up against is challenging with all our competitors and the tech portals that are not requiring registration. So if you do relax registration, that's fine. Or you can do restricted, where let's say someone looks at a certain number of listings on your website, and if they do, then they'll be prompted to register. Now, they still can register on their own, even if they're in a relaxed setting. I mean, that's just one of the things that happens. If they request a showing or something like that, then they have to register. But it just depends on the function. But for the most part, if you do relax, they can browse freely.
Hey, Michelle, can I pipe in real quick? We're getting
Sure.
a lot of questions about whether or not changes made to Booj accounts now will transfer on 3/31. So just to be clear, there is no transfer. This is your actual Booj account. Anything that you do right now is just going to go live on 3/31. So if you create your website right now, which is what we want for you to do, it just won't be published until 3/31. But you won't have to recreate any pages or re-enter zip codes or anything at all of that nature. So this is your actual Booj account. Michelle's account just says test account because we aren't real estate agents. So we don't have the same account that you do, so to speak, because we can't make it look like we have more agents in RE/MAX than we actually have. So everything that you do right now in your Booj account will save as it should, and then on 3/31, it will be live. I hope that answers some of those questions.
Yes, we got that question a lot yesterday and I believe the day before too. So yeah, everything you do will save. It's just a matter of you hitting that publish button. Do you want the public to see it? Are you ready for it? That's up to you. Now, by the way, you don't have to publish on the 31st. If you're not ready, then don't do it until you are ready, but just want to let you know. So very good point. All right, so let's create a page. Let's go up here to website. Let's go to pages. And I cannot stress enough how many videos there are on RE/MAX University, by the way, on these websites. Please look at those. Please watch them. They break everything down to the simplest by feature that I think you'll enjoy, rather than than this 2-hour session. Or you can take this recording and just pause and watch this website portion again. So once again, we're in pages. Now we're going to click over here where it says add page, new page. So this is where we're going to call out the name of the page. So you can do really whatever it is that you want, but let's call this about and the name of your town. So I'm just going to put on here, because I spend a lot of time in Brookfield, Wisconsin. We do a lot of our, well, we used to do a lot of our trainings live there, about Brookfield, Wisconsin. And it's a good best practice, by the way, to put the state after that, especially if you have a name like Brookfield, because there's a Brookfield, Illinois, and there's Bloomington and some popular names. And it's good for search engine optimization. So I'm just going to put a description in here, things to do in Brookfield. You'll do something much nicer than that. Okay. And then just real quick, the slug, basically on any website out there, anything after the .com is considered the slug. So it'll be mywebsite.com / about Brookfield, Wisconsin. So that ends up what's called the slug. You can change it, you can customize it, but it's not that big a deal. So now I have a brand new page. So I cannot start my page though until I choose a header. So what do I want my header to be? Maybe I still want search to be front and center. So I'm going to choose headline image with search. So now it's, I'm having a few glitches with my test account and preview as of right now, but I'm going to choose an image by choosing this. Okay. What you'll find is there's an entire library of photos that are built into the Booj platform. We can thank RE/MAX LLC marketing team for that. And they're all high resolution. You have permission to use them. You don't have to worry about royalties or anything like that. So these are showing here right now, 25 results per page, but if I want to change that, I can. It'll let me. Looks like it's not letting me for some reason. I'm going to choose an image. And you'll notice here that if you want to do your own custom image, you can, but pay attention to some of these dimensions on the existing photos in the library and kind of use that as a guide, These are pixels, so the 1274 by 838, that's a high resolution photo. So I would not do anything below that, and it tells you, but you can tell by the size. If a photo is in the megabyte range, then that's good. It's gonna be nice and crisp. If you don't wanna use their images, like I said, if you click choose image, and right here is where you choose file. This is where you can add your own image to this particular area and make sure it's sized right. And again, keep the mobile experience in mind. But I'm just gonna go ahead and click on an image, and we're gonna click insert. So you have to put in the title and the description in order to save this. I'm just gonna call this about Brookfield again, because this is what the consumer will see. And again, there's no spell check here, so make sure you're doing this on a document that will do all that work for you. Okay, even type today. Save. And now I'm building my page. So what I just did, and like I said, I'm having some preview issues. I already know that on my test account, but you should see a preview. If you don't, then report that too as well, and we can look into that. But it's turned over to green, which means it's live when I publish this page. Now let's add some blocks. So let's add a block. And this is where you can choose, you have so many options. Some of this gets really advanced, but I want to show you where to add Zillow reviews. So let's click on Zillow review. And what it's going to now need is my screen name. In order to find your screen name, you can do a couple of things. So you can go to a new browser window and go to Zillow.com. And you can either log into your profile or you can just search for yourself as an agent. And you can put that in here. So we'll do, this is an agent that I know has a lot of reviews. So find yourself and then open up your profile. So on the far right side, you will see a screen name. So what you need to do is copy and paste it as it exists, even if it has spaces. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put this right back in here and watch what happens. It's instant. So as soon as you put your screen name in, there's your reviews. They're good to go. And again, notice they're time-stamped. Then you hit save. Now, once again, I can put it in draft mode if I don't want to have it showing yet. Maybe I'm waiting for a couple more reviews to come in or whatever it is. Add another block. This is where, here's some quick tips. You can add a generic block where you can type in virtually anything you want. And what you can do is you can hyperlink text, like if you want to send them someplace in the community, Convention and Visitors Bureau, but this is where you can just type in anything you want. I'm just going to put in some filler text and click save. So there's a generic block. And then let's look at, once again, testimonials, which are the manual. The testimonial block is the manual ones. Remember, the ones that you have added and that you have chosen to show and make visible. So when I hit save, see what's happening. I've added my reviews. Here's that extra generic block that I added. And finally, video. Video cannot be uploaded or embedded onto the page, even though it says video embed. When you click this block, it's going to require that you upload, copy and paste a YouTube link. You can also do Vimeo. I recommend YouTube always for the SEO, but this is where you're going to call out your video. Now notice when I hit this back button to go back, the video embed block is there, but I just don't have a video yet, so I can hide it. I see that we're approaching the 2-hour mark. I hope you had fun this morning. What else can I answer for everyone? And please let us know if that was helpful and anything else you might want to know. Got a couple more minutes. Question?
I think we're in a good place. One last thing that I do want to mention, though, is that this webinar was meant to be kind of a quick pace overview. We only had a 2-hour time frame. You can find very specific sections on RE/MAX University for a more deep dive into each of these sections. So please, please, please do not hesitate to check out RE/MAX University. If you have any questions, you can schedule one-on-one support calls with our support team, and we'll be happy to assist you guys as well.
Yep, absolutely. So here's the Booj videos once again on Remax University. And here's the overview. If you just want to start with an overview, then you can break it down in bite-sized pieces. Here's deals, there's DocuSign integration. Look at all these videos. I mean, there's so much here. And the Remax LLC team has done an amazing job. Hats off to them on getting all these videos done. This is the website. I mean, there's tons of them here to help you. Anything else? I cannot thank all of you enough. Please join us next week for those webinars. We're going to get more creative with the websites, and we're going to have a lot more features to talk about next week that are happening, that are new, and getting ready for Leads to go live. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. And again, please be safe, healthy, and well, and best to all of you and your families. We love Remax. Remember the hashtag @HomeTogether. Thanks, everyone. Take care.